it has to be, first of all, to be art, it has to be condensed like poetry, so that all these superfluous elements are taken in. Secondly, it has to go from it has to discuss something specific, deal with something specific in such a way that there is a universal application. And people who come to this show, who've been to any grammar school, are going to re-experience that. And third, it has to have some idea behind it that unifies it. And the idea here is, how does a town deal with its grief about losing its school? That is the basic idea. And that's theater, that's catharsis, that's why we go to tragedies.
What I love about it is that there's an arc in the sense that the school isn't, lost and nothing, no one follows up on what happened to it. It's that the community reclaims it and says, what we're going to make of this is, it's not going to just become some building and with these old memories that don't matter. These are memories that do matter, and they'll lend themselves to future, musical experiences.
And as a byproduct, we're going to have an archive of Harmony School that is far and away the most complete record of the school in existence, with oral histories from 60 people. That's an awful lot of oral history. Wow. And it will be stored at the Art Center as a resource for future historians to go through, some of it in very abbreviated form. I mean, Nadia has done transcriptions. This is, a historical project. But the real core of it is, it's a way of, everyone can re-own this campus and make it a community center.
This is almost something that could be modeled in a lot of places.
It could. In fact, it is modeled on an English group called the Talking Birds. And they kind of invented site-specific multimedia theater, what we call a digital theater, not multimedia anymore. Before that, it was, it was audio-visual.
Right,
now it's digital, because all these little laptops are plugged into these projectors, and out of these discs come these amazing images all over them. But so what they set the format, which is take a place that's in transition, that's important to the community, research it thoroughly, find the people who care about it, involve them as much as possible, and then create an art piece that works like a bridge from the past to the future.
Wow.
And so Nadia studied with them, and then she and I worked on a show called Morning Star, which was Morning Star the musical, about the old hippie commune out there.
Nice, interesting.
And she did all the projections for that. And I could see that she had the talent to do this show.
So,
and we have a great cast.
Is there any way you can remember, just give us a sneak preview at one of the oral histories that we might, if I'm,
Oh, sure. Sure. I was very impressed with the oral history from the old alternative school teacher, Randy Sequeira. Randy Sequeira was one of the longest-lasting teachers in the Harmony District. He taught for years at Harmony School, and he had the alternative program. Because one of the things that happened in Occidental was that there was an influx of escapees from the city in about from 1968, I bought a place, to about 1970 or 80. Kids who didn't have a lot of money could buy these little properties out there for peanuts, like in Brayton and in the hills around Occidental, and then they all had children. And they wanted the new kind of school, with parent participation, and field trips, and art enrichment, and music. And Harmony had always been like straight out by the book, old-fashioned
textbook,
reading, writing, arithmetic, and sports. And so these two cultures clashed, and it wasn't really a pretty picture. And so the school had to act in this as an alembic to do something with these two forces, and they created two programs in the same school. The alternative program, where the parents could come, and I'm playing the alternative teacher. I go, groovy. Everybody make your own note, because then we're going to harmonize together. Bobby, what's your note? Oh, that's beautiful. So,
you mean you're not going to give them a note?
Oh, no.
Good. How exciting. They can think on their own.
Oh, absolutely. That's what alternative
in
is
that
all about. You know? And multi classrooms, multi-age classrooms, and a lot of field trips. And so that program was grafted onto the old program. So that created a reaction in the community, which resulted in the A+ program, where it got even more strict, and there were even more rules, and there was more saluting the flag, and there was more reading, writing, and arithmetic, and there was more emphasis on tests. So now there were 3 programs in Harmony School, a small school of maybe 200 population, in the middle of this tiny village that had become like a cultural jigsaw puzzle that reflected the whole changing society. And the school worked out a way to give everybody what they wanted, which is amazing.
That is.
So
really.
Randy talks about this. He's a very wonderful teacher. Obviously, he loved his kids. You know, I remember him being asked, Randy, tell us about one of your favorite days. And he said, any day that I saw the lights go on in one of my students' eyes, when you find that moment and they have the kind of like, oh, that's worth learning. I wonder, you know, what it's all about. That's what he was working for. And he said, I never participated in the A+ alternative fracas. He said, I tried to stay above it. I called myself the alternative A+ teacher. A guy who can teach, but he teaches with more real-life materials. A school garden, a pond, fish, wind-up boats, music, a lot of music. Music can teach math.
It's interactive. And a lot of people, I think that those are, you know, yeah, those are nice to know, but look how many people are stuck between trying to teach their kids to get away from the computer and the video games and the natural world. They don't even know how to bridge that gap any longer because they haven't said, you know what, that fish needs to be treated with respect. And the reason why is because imagine yourself as the fish. Imagine yourself going upstream, downstream. Where does it go from here? How does it thrive in this community?
You got it. You're very sensitive. You should be a teacher yourself. But maybe you're trying to. I don't know. But
right now, I'm just loving this conversation.
But the thing is that Harmony School went through this, and in a weird way, it reflected the fact that the town had always had a sort of split personality. In fact, when it was first founded, Howard Station was on one side of town, and on the other side was Mr. Meeker's village called Occidental. It was only 3 blocks long, but the street names actually changed when you got on one side of this line or the other. Front Street became Main Street, and so on. And so the town has had a split personality from the beginning. Yes, the Italian families became the dominant group there. They built a Catholic church, a beautiful church, St. Philip's. They started these restaurants. There were at one time 3 big Occidental restaurants. They became a tourist destination. And on a typical Mother's Day, they would serve 30,000 meals.
Wow.
Or people would go and buy Christmas trees and have dinner. Big Italian dinners. Well, tastes have changed and money's short, and the restaurants aren't really supporting the town anymore, and all the basic businesses have died and gone away. And the town needs a new center. It needs a new something to bring it forward, and I think the Arts Center is the perfect thing.
Oh, yeah.
We could become an arts destination in the West County, so nobody has to, Santa Rosa, nobody has to go to Santa Rosa anymore, but go to the Occidental Arts Center, and they can see Chris Caswell. They can see Blue Brazil. They can see Brian Shears doing under Milkwood, and it's only going to be $15. It's going to be so. And we'll have children's classes so that kids come back to the school. They do theater in the summertime. This is what a good art center has to do. It has to be completely multi. So we call it a home for all the arts. And it's been built by volunteers, artists mostly, with nothing, with peanuts. I mean, with peanut shells. Not even the peanuts. We just had shells. And we built this art center with world-class acoustics and comfortable bathrooms. We're still trying to keep the ADA happy.
How exciting!
There's a
Well,
visitor.
hi.
Hey, Maria.
Yeah. Hey.
How's it going?
We're interviewing.
Oh, cool.
But
It's almost
you know,
over, huh?
yeah. I mean, it's
You gave me a
wonderful
lot of
to
time.
I really appreciate your time and.
This is why I came here.
And do you want to say anything else?
Yes, I'd like to say, Remembering Harmony is playing on September 3rd and 4th, and the way to connect with it is to go to www.occidentalcenterforthearts.com. And when you get there, you'll find a description of the show, and then you press brown paper tickets and you get the brown paper, and they have each one of the 4 performances on Friday and Saturday nights is a separate ticket. Buy it with your credit card. Come have the time of your life. Relive your grammar school years with a difference.
Yes, and feel what it's like to relive it and enjoy the wonderful production you guys are putting on. And I look forward to sitting on that bus.
And have milk and cookies.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.